Hello, hello, hello again, Filter Free America listeners. It happened, man. I don't know what it is, if it's just our good fortune, if it's just kismet, if it's just our energies coming back together. We are finding each other quite frequently here on the Filter Free America podcast. We form one. You audience, me, guy who talks too much. Our energies just meld together, and it's creating this beautiful podcast magic that is, I guess, doing pretty good based on the numbers, doing really well. So, again, thank you guys for that. Let me point this out if you haven't already noticed it. My voice still jacked up, still recovering from just the worst possible sinus infection a man could get. I like to refer to it as the Cadillac of sinus infections. Because it's worse. I mean, I'm going on over 3 weeks now of symptoms. I mean, at least I feel good now. Before I felt like somebody was pounding like railroad ties into my sinus passages. But it's gone away. I'm just now in the recovery stage, voice coming back. Still got a little bit of nasally drip, a little mucus drip back there in the back of the throat and nose and so forth. But at least my head's not hurting. And I'm feeling 70-ish%. That's where I'm at. So that's why my voice is jacked up. Don't worry, the interview, my voice was not jacked up when I recorded this interview. So it's just the intro and the outro. Now let's talk about the episode. Holy shit. You've already seen the title. You know who I'm talking to. I am talking to the number one ranked welterweight Muay Thai fighter in the whole United States of America. That's probably like Guam and District or Dominican Republic too, but whatever, right? Of all that shit, he is the number one Muay Thai welterweight fighter, right? And I can't remember from the interview. It's either 9 or 6, but he's like 9 or 6 in the whole world, on the whole planet of the whole world, Craig, right? He is like that. He's getting ready to take that number one spot because this guy is a vicious, murderous beast. Super nice guy to talk to, but would not get into the ring with him whatsoever. If you haven't seen any clips of his fighting, stop the audio right now, run to YouTube and look him up and look at some of the vicious kicks this dude has been putting on opponents, man. Like, I'm not making this up at all. This is a true story. I watched a video and he's kicking this dude and he kicked him so hard his head flew off his body. It went in like the 9th or 11th row. That's where it went. I'm not making that up. It really happened. Check YouTube, right? This guy is a killer is what I'm saying. He is a killer, right? And he came into the Filter Free America bunker studio and had a conversation with me. Here's what we talked about, right? First off, this dude has won hella tournaments, right? He won the IFMA Royal World Cup, right? That's like, I guess, basically like one of the Super Bowls of this sport, right? He won that in his second fucking year of training. Year two. What have any of you done in year 2? Let me get a drink because my voice is driving myself crazy. Nothing. That's what it is. None of you have done anything within 2 years, right? Like maybe shit on yourself when you were a baby. Like year 2, you shit on yourself. That was about it. But aside from that, you've never done nothing like this, much less win the Super Bowl, as it were, of this sport in your second year. All in total, he's been in it for, I think he said 5 to 6 years of training total, right? Number one in the United States. Okay. Yeah, he's a bad man. But again, super cool dude to talk to. And I really enjoyed the conversation. And I basically wanted to get like a whole kind of a biography, if you will, of his life. Like, how does a dude go from nothing to like 2 years from now he's a champion, right? How does that happen? So just basically I had him tell me about his life, where he started out when he was born in Chicago, moving to the Twin Cities, all that stuff. So we get a little bit of play-by-play for his life. And then he takes us through all his more memorable fights and how he trains and all kinds of cool stuff. Also, he's going to school for law enforcement, right? Either he's still going for school or he graduated, whichever, right? So if you guys know me, whenever the issue of cops come up, I have to talk about it. So he was even cool about that, man. At the end, we even talk about his future plans about when he leaves the sport, wanting to be a law enforcement officer. So I commend him for that as well. So front to back, this is a really cool conversation, especially if you're a fight fan, right? Any kind of mixed martial arts or combat sport fan. This is going to be interesting to you. But even if you're not, I mean, this is just a human interest story, man. It's not too often that you see somebody with such a short time in a professional athlete sport of any kind, much less combat sports, and become one of the premier names. He's an absolute phenom, and I'm not exaggerating in the slightest. Again, he knocked the dudes off and the heads off in the 9th or 11th row. It's crazy. I swear I saw it. Whatever. But that's what the conversation is going to be about. Real fast, I want to give some shout outs to some of his sponsors and people he wanted to promote. Glory Kickboxing. Glory Kickboxing. One of the people he wants to mention. Please don't confuse that with one of my sponsors, which is Glory Whole Incorporated. No, this is Glory Kickboxing. Glory Kickboxing, right? Also, Muay Thai Addict, Mr. Mouthguard, right? And if you want to go to his website, it's troubleathletes.com. Troubleathletes.com. That's his website, and you can find out some more about him if you don't learn everything in this awesome episode. And also, I'm going to put some links up when I post the episode, too, so you can go to his stuff directly. Make it a little bit easier for you to find, so you don't have to try to understand my raggedy voice right now. What else I got to do? Oh, I got to promote the sponsor of this show, actually, first. And, I mean, if you guys have been here for a while, right, you know kind of what's going on. You know who the sponsor is, so say it with me. Simplewebsite.us. Simplewebsite.us. One more time so it sticks and clings to your brain. Simplewebsite.us. What is that company, for the people who just tuned in for the first time? Simplewebsite.us. This is what they do. You guys know Squarespace, right? The place where you can build your own website. They claim it's really easy to do. We'll tell you what, it is easy to do if you're of normal intelligence and not like me, right? Because if you're like me and big, scary computer stuff frightens you, right? You're caveman-esque and it's terrifying to you. You need some help, right? And that's what Simple Website does. They maximize the tool that is Squarespace, right? Maximize it to its fullest potential. They know all the tricks. They know all the little magic buttons to push to make your website work, and they can do it for you start to finish. Do you want an example? Of course you want an example. Please go to filterfreeamerica.com. Filterfreeamerica, America always intentionally misspelled with a K.com. That's the website for this podcast, and they built it. They maintain it. They do everything because I'm a fucking idiot and I couldn't do it on my own without somebody at least holding my hand and patting on my butt. But yeah, that's what they do, right? So if you want somebody to do that for you, if you want a Squarespace website, and Squarespace makes dope websites, just have them do it for you. You just tell them what you want. You get to pretend like you're like a king or some shit and just boss them around. Say, hey, peasant at simplewebsite.us, build me a website and I'll throw you a couple gold coins, right? Something like that. That's how it goes down. But guess what? Even if you don't need them to build it, right? You should still go to their website. You should still go to simplewebsite.us. And here's why. Because you will find not only their services, but also free tips and tricks and videos on how to help you make building the website by yourself easier, right? That's how confident they are in what they do. They're like, here is some free shit because we got so much shit that we can sell you. Take this free shit. There you go. Right? So there, go to simplewebsite.us. Anything else? Oh yeah. Voice dying here. Make sure you go and rate and review the podcast. Please do that, especially if you're on iTunes. And also, we've been really growing on the Filter Free America Facebook page. So make sure if you haven't done that yet, you go to the Facebook page, Filter Free America Podcast. Very specific. There's another Filter Free America that's an old page of mine from the podcast previously that I can't take down for some reason. So go to the one that says Filter Free America Podcast. Filter Free America Podcast. Like that page and leave a dope review. You can leave reviews there. Leave some dope reviews. Do that stuff. Do that for me. All right. So we need a name for this episode so we can kick it off, right? We're talking to Troy Trouble Jones, Muay Thai, vicious, killer in the ring. So we need a name that reflects that. Okay. Let's see. I'm the number one Muay Thai fighter in the USA, and I can kick your head off with Troy Trouble Jones, right? It's a lot to remember. I hope I remember all that. Yeah, whatever. I'll figure it out. If that's not the way the title turns out, it's because I forgot it when I went to go type the name of it in. But whatever, figure it out. You guys know. Been smoking a little bit. Whatever. We're going to talk to Troy Trouble Jones right here on the Filter Free America podcast. Let's go. All right, Troy, why don't you start by telling me what you remember. You're 10 years old before you left, but what do you remember about Chicago? What was life like in Chicago before you guys moved here?
So it was a bit rough, at least from what I remember. I remember having no light sometimes, going candlelight, house being warmed up by a stove.
Right.
Um, just like my grandfather passed away. Yeah, it was a little rough,
Right.
just growing up in that environment, and like my uncles are in gang affiliated, and my uncle getting shot. He's 14 years old, getting
Oh, holy
shot.
cow.
Yeah. So it was rough. It was a difficult time, at least for me, because I'm like the only one like that of my cousins, or because I'm the oldest, and in my immediate family, my brother and sisters that really remember any of it,
Right.
because I was the oldest one, so I seen a bunch, and by the time I was out, I was like 10, 11, so it's stuff that I can still remember.
So you're
And
getting kind of close to that crossroads age where you're going to have to make a choice. Like,
right,
am I going to side with these dudes or?
right, yeah, and I would just remember my uncles always like I'm always like almost like my uncle. He's only 6 years older than me, so he was more like an
14?
older
See, he's
brother.
14. He got shot when he was 14.
Yeah, so and I would be like trying to go hang out with him and his friends,
Right.
not knowing what was going on. Just want to go hang out with my uncle, and
Right.
he was like, "Oh no, stay. You got to stay back." And they kept me away from that lifestyle for sure, and I definitely appreciate them. They never like my uncles never like actually wanted me to be a part of that lifestyle.
Right.
So yeah, I mean yeah, it was just different. It's definitely rough.
Right. So your mom made the decision to move you
Yeah.
guys out, and this was the best choice, or why'd you guys come here? What was your?
Yeah, she made the decision just because she didn't want us to grow up in that environment. She wanted us to have better than what she had.
She still wanted you to freeze like you do in Chicago, but you wanted
Right,
to live in a
right.
nicer place.
It was just back then the opportunities were as abundant here in Minnesota. At least that's what she told me.
Right. I think it is. I think
Yeah.
and we still get a lot of people from Chicago.
Exactly.
So it's-
You everyone is from Chicago when they say there. You meet them, like,
right.
some at least
I live
in
here,
the
but I'm from
African
the shop.
American
Right.
community, you're gonna be like, "Ah, yeah, I'm from the Chicago." Like, all right.
Yeah, but you're here now, sir.
Right. That's why, like, whenever I go somewhere, I mean, I represent where I'm from, which is Brooklyn Park. It's where I was raised.
Right.
So I represent that. And when I'm getting announced in the ring, they say I'm from Brooklyn Park. But I never forget where my roots are. And,
Exactly.
And that is in Chicago, but I was raised up here.
Well, coming up here, you were homeless for a little bit, right?
Yep.
Did your mom just like not have anybody here to kind of get a start with? She
Yeah,
just
no.
came up. Wow, it's kind of bold.
Nobody was here.
So how did that go? What was life like moving here to the Twin Cities?
Yeah, it was that. I mean, that was a difficult time too. I mean, I didn't understand what was going on, but I definitely now that I'm older, I know what that's like. I'm seeing it. We're in a shelter. It's not even like we're in a shelter, so it's like a women's shelter with kids. So it was a lot of single mothers with their kids there that have been through probably a lot of different issues, domestic abuse and drug issues, I'm sure.
Right.
And we were in there sleeping.
We guys safe? It was a safe environment for you?
Yeah, I mean, we did have. I remember like something being stolen from our room.
Okay.
Something like probably some jewelry or something. So I do remember that. So it might not have been. You had to be on your toes for sure.
Right.
But I mean, at that age, like you're just going with what's going on. You're just still being a kid. Like there was other kids there. I didn't think anything different.
Right.
And I became friends with a couple kids that I stayed close with. Maybe up until we moved to Brooklyn Park. And like I think I was like in 7th grade. So at the time we moved up here, I think I was like 3rd or 4th grade.
Okay. So how many years that you spent just kind of trying to find a place and all that? That was how long?
Maybe like a couple months. Maybe
okay,
a couple,
so it wasn't
not years. Maybe like a month, if that, a couple weeks.
Okay.
We found an apartment in over North Minneapolis.
Okay.
And yeah, she just was my mom. Just worked and grinded, and we eventually moved into a house in Brooklyn Park.
Man,
And then
that was home base.
right, yeah.
So when you got here, you weren't really doing anything athletic around the age before you left Chicago.
No, I mean I would play football, basketball, like on the park leagues, and
Okay.
never nothing.
Nothing formal.
Yeah,
organized,
nothing
right?
formal.
So did you start out in mixed or martial arts at any kind early age?
I did do karate when I was like in 6th grade, like an after school program,
Okay.
which I like, and I just watching all these karate kung fu movies back in the day,
Right.
like my uncles and watching the old UFCs, like when they're bare knuckles in the cage, you got to get the DVDs, order them. So yeah, I mean, my uncles, I watched all the WWE, all that stuff with them. So I always had an interest in combat sports, but it never really like
Something you took as a serious.
right. Yeah, I just liked it. I loved it as just watching it, like karate movies. And then I took a karate class, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
Right.
And then at that point, 6th grade, then I got in. I was already playing basketball too, so I made a choice. I was like, all right, I'm about to play basketball and football. Okay. And those are the things that I wanted to do. And I just never thought of having, like, there was a career path in this sport. Like, you see it in football and basketball all the time. Like, as a kid, every kid wants to be a professional athlete. And yeah, I was one of those kids.
Gotcha. So now football, you did well enough. Did you get a scholarship?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what position did you play? What'd you?
So I played free safety.
Okay.
So I didn't. So out of high school, I wouldn't have had the best GPA. I was always screwing around. Never took school serious.
Join the club.
Yeah, I never took school serious, and it's not that I was a dumb kid. I was just
right.
a lazy kid, and was like,
That's me
thought
too.
I knew more than what I knew.
Right.
And so I graduated. So I ended up having to go to a junior college out of high school, and I went to school. But I would move back to Illinois, and ended up playing at a junior college called William Rainey Harper College, which is in like a northern suburb of Chicago. I played there for 2 years, was All-American, all conference, won a national championship down there.
Oh, nice.
And then I received scholarships, and I received the scholarships from a bunch of schools. I actually ended up going to sign to a school in North Carolina, which is called Fayetteville State. But 3 days before I was supposed to move out there, something happened with my transcripts, and I couldn't get accepted into that school. Mm-hmm. So 3 days before that, I'm scrambling trying to find a school that will take a shot on me.
Right.
And I called up the coaches that have been recruiting me all along, Minnesota State Mankato, which is where I ended up going 3 days before camp. They gave me a scholarship, and I ended up playing for them for 2 years, and then All-American, or no, all-conference, all-region.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I graduated. Like, I've had to pursue, or I wanted to pursue the NFL route,
right?
But I mean, apparently I wasn't good enough, obviously, and I didn't have that.
Well, now you just kick half those players.
Right. I don't have
the
passion. I didn't ever have the passion for it.
Right.
Yeah. So I played with like Adam Thielen. Like, he was on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're about the same age. So
yeah, we played the same. We played together. So
right.
I mean, we definitely we had some talent. I didn't take it. It wasn't something that I wanted. And looking back on that, just my attitude. I mean, I worked hard, but I didn't work hard enough.
Gotcha.
And I didn't take it. See, I wanted to be a college student. I wanted to party, have fun, and play ball. Like, we took it serious, of course, when it's time to play ball. But I was also partying, took that serious too. So yeah, just like, man, it's just like learning. Life, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes when you're taking wrong turns, it may even end up being the right turn for you.
Right.
Like in this case.
Right. Exactly.
So after football, after school, did you immediately look for another physical outlet to get into? Or did you mess around for a little bit before you got into kickboxing, or what?
So I went to school for law enforcement, and I got my degree. And then I got this semester before I graduated, I got a DUI. Ouch. So that pushed all of that to the side for at least 7 years when you can reapply.
Oh, wow.
At least like in my situation, because I was trying to move out of state and I didn't.
So was this the plan? Was your plan to graduate and go right into
law enforcement? Yeah. And then, so that's why I started doing.
So what we're saying is there was a happy ending with this DWI. Right. Sometimes it works out.
It's how, like, man, God,
don't drink and drive, kids. Don't drink and drive. But sometimes it does work out.
God has a plan, man.
Right?
And you just gotta have faith, man.
So did this start out to be like your way of staying physically fit?
So I started because I wanted to learn like a hand-to-hand combat skill
That you can carry over to law enforcement.
right. And I wanted to be able to protect myself and anyone around me if it came down to me going hand-to-hand with someone.
Right.
And I started training, and I'm like, man, like I love that. This is fun. Like it's really cool. Like, all right, so how do I compete? So I started looking stuff up online. And this first gym I started going to was Minnesota Martial Arts Academy. And if you don't know about that gym, it has a lot of MMA legends that came through there, a lot of good striking.
Who are some of the names of people?
Brock Lesnar, right. Sean Sherrick, Dave Monet, Caitlin Young,
right.
Ryan Murray, Nat McIntyre.
So you're just around a bunch of killers is what you are.
It's really good people. And I didn't know all this. And this is the gym is literally a mile.
Oh, you didn't go there thinking I'm going to be with all these hardcore guys. You're just like, hey, this is the one closest to me, or
right? It was the one closest to me. I'm like, I had no idea.
See, the universe is shining down on you, man, because you've had
that was the
already
first gym I started going to.
Oh man!
Like, all right, well now I'm in the perfect spot where I can become whatever I want within the combat sports. Greg Nelson, he's the owner.
Okay.
And so it's just put me in a great position.
Right.
And I wanted to, like, I talked to a couple of the head coaches, and I'm like, all right, what do I need? Like, that I told them my background. I'm like, I'm a high-level competitor. And, like, how do fighters train? Tell me what I need to do to train to be a fighter. And he told me a little basic outline of what fighters did. I'm like, all right, well, I started doing it on my own. Just started doing it.
So when you asked him, was this like day one?
No, this was probably like a couple months in.
So was it like your first couple months? Did you like discover that you had a natural ability, or did somebody say, hey, you're kicking a lot of ass?
Nah, it was a mixture, because like at first I had to learn. Like obviously I was athletic,
right? But
I had to learn the techniques, and I had to learn how to do them properly.
Right.
So after I had learned to do them properly, and then I'm like, all right, so I'm getting better. We're sparring. I'm doing good against the average student. So I'm like, all right, well, I want to start to compete. What is the next step to competing? And I started to do that, what he told me, and then I started to go to like the more high levels, like competitive classes where they're sparring, and I'm like, all right. I get beat up most of the time, but I'm also showing like, okay, like you have to learn how to. It's not all about throwing a punch. It's also about seeing a punch coming at you and not flinching and still being able to handle the pressure. So, and so I had to learn that. And I was just, you got to just get beat up a bunch.
Brock Lesnar, do you ever
no,
drop a kick
Brock
on him?
Lesnar was never there. So actually, when I started, Pat Barry was there.
I know that name. I don't know why.
Yeah, he was a UFC fighter, heavyweight. Okay. So he was there, and Mike Richmond, another guy who.
I know him.
Who was there when I was there? Dan Moret.
Yeah.
John Castaneda.
So these are the guys you're training with. These are the guys you're learning with.
Yep. And Andrew Capel, like they're bigger. Tom Jenkins. Like, yeah, it's like a bunch of high level MMA fighters and kickboxers, Muay Thai fighters, and then I'm just like hanging with them, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm pretty good, and I'm like,
how were they treating
months.
you?
They weren't
nobody.
going easy.
Okay,
I was a nobody, yeah, for sure. I was a nobody for sure, and like I just learned.
Did they seem impressed, or were they giving you shit, or how does that work?
It wasn't. Nah, that was just like.
Way to kick me in the head. Good job.
I'm a real quiet person. I'm not like super outspoken.
Right.
I mean, I am when I have to be, but I don't keep to myself. So I was just coming every day.
That's training. The worst. Some quiet dude just kicking your ass in the gym.
I just come, train, just keep trying to get better, keep trying to get better and better every day.
Okay.
Just putting in the work.
So you start doing amateur fights. Is that the next level then for you?
So I trained for a whole year. And then
this is your first year we're talking.
Yeah, my first year.
What we say before we start, 5 to 6 years you've been?
I'm coming up on 6 in May.
Coming up on 6 years.
So the first year I trained, no competing, no nothing, just straight training, learning the sport, learning the fight IQ. Right. And then the next year I joined into one of the largest Muay Thai competitions or tournaments in North America, which
Still amateur, right?
yep, amateur. This is all amateur, and I ended up winning the whole tournament. And
Wow.
it was a C class of novice, so I won the whole tournament
Again, first year.
first year.
Good God.
And then I'm like, all right, so I'm pretty good. All right, I'm beating these guys. So what's the next level? Then it's B class. And then I went to a tournament. So that tournament was in June. I went to another tournament in like July or August, and I won that tournament, which is B class.
Are people asking questions yet? Are like, who the fuck is this guy?
No, not really. I don't know.
You're just doing your business.
Yeah.
You don't care.
Yeah, I
Kicking
mean, I'm
ass
sure
and
people
come on.
notice, but I mean, a lot of people come through there, and
You know what I'm saying? Like
compete
you
for a
get some,
while.
some kid like early in baseball, and he's jacking home runs, and everybody's like, oh, we gotta watch this guy. We gotta
yeah,
watch this
of course, yeah.
guy.
There's
Are you getting any kind of attention like from the, I guess the media of
Nah,
kickboxing or anything like that?
not
yet, or-
really.
Okay.
It's not big enough, I don't think. And being from the Midwest, is Minnesota especially, most of the fights that don't happen here. I
Right.
mean, we've gotten way more relevant now in the recent couple years, just because we built our own following and our own
Right.
scene in Minnesota. At least I feel with like Driller Promotions doing on Mecca, doing the Muay Thai shows, Kalen matchmaking,
Right.
making stuff happen, and just everyone else is putting in the work and putting on good shows, good fights, and that it's a combination of everyone just wanting them to make the sport grow.
Right.
And I feel like it's gotten to a point where we do have some high level strikers that come out of Minnesota that are competing on the international stage and winning.
Right.
Like there's me, I fight in glory. Tom Jenkins fights in glory. Nate Richardson fights in glory. And they're Tom is from my gym. Nate's from the Cellar.
Right.
And just like it's just growing.
Okay. Well, that's good. So you've gone to, we're in like year 2 now.
This is still year 1.
Still,
Yeah. So
no, I did all this in year 1, sir.
Yeah. So this is all like I won 4 fights in 1 weekend. I
Right.
got the championship, and then I went to Oklahoma, won
4 fights in 1 week.
3 fights.
See, that's not like boxing, man.
Nah,
you,
yeah,
You
you
take
just
6
going.
months off. And how's it
Yeah.
feel like when you're in like the 4th fight?
You're sore.
You're
but
bruised and everything
you're sore,
else,
But
and-
when the adrenaline kicks in, and I mean, but the rounds aren't as long, or the fights aren't as long as boxing.
Well, yeah,
but-
when you fight,
So
you
if
just knock
you
them
go-
out in the first round.
Right. Now, but so like a boxing fight usually is like 10 rounds. Like,
Right.
So on the weekend, I'm probably getting like 6 to 8 rounds
Right.
of work. So it's kind of evens out.
So a lot of it's not only is it just skill and intelligence of fighting, it's also a little bit about resilience.
Yeah, you have to, especially coming up in the amateurs, because you're trying to get as many fights. We're behind in America as far as the world stage.
Right.
People in Thailand, they get 100, 200 fights by the age of 20.
Good God.
In Europe, they're getting 100 fights by the age of 20. So we're behind. So especially me, I started at age 25. I'm trying to catch up. So I'm like trying to get as many fights as I possibly can in a short amount of time.
Right.
So I got 4. Then a couple months later, I got 3. So I'm at 7. And I get another one up in Minnesota. And I'm winning this. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm decent. I'm doing well against the people that are putting me up against. And then a year later, I'm like 15-0, 16-0.
Wow.
And I'm going to I'm winning in the A class division. I'm winning those tournaments.
Is that top?
Yeah, that's the A class in America. So I'm winning all the A class tournaments, and then I ended up earning a spot onto the Muay Thai national team,
Okay.
which is
Is this like would be for like the Olympic level?
Yep.
Okay.
So Muay Thai and kickboxing,
Is there?
they're not in the Olympics, but they are being under what is it?
They got that
advisory.
fucking thing with the brooms,
Right.
In the Olympics, and they can't have some.
Right, they're getting
Okay.
it. They're working on it. So both sports, Muay Thai and kickboxing, are like in that stage where they're trying to get I don't even know the word, certified by the Olympic Committee to be
Okay.
put into the game. So hopefully by the year 2024,
Okay.
it'll be in the Olympics, and hopefully that I can still be able to compete.
Right.
Because I'm 30, so next 4 years, like hopefully.
So does that mean you're still an amateur fighting now? Is that?
No, I'm pro now.
Oh, but they
But
let
it'd be
pros in.
different.
Okay.
Because Muay Thai, there's no, America's the only sport or the only country that has amateur Muay Thai fights around the world.
They're all
There's
professional.
amateur, but they're just all counted on their pro record or they're just record overall.
Okay, no, I gotcha. So remind me again the one you just did, the American.
Yeah, the U.S. national team. So I
Okay.
fought for the United States Muay Thai Federation, the USMF, on the IFMA organization, which is the International Federation of Muay Thai Amateurs, which is the largest Muay
So
Thai.
you're fighting
tournament in the
worldwide
world.
at this point now,
Yep.
right?
In the world. So I moved, and this is it was in Bangkok, Thailand, where the tournament was.
Okay.
This is in 2015. So I flew out
This
there.
is the motherland for kickboxing,
Yeah,
right?
Muay
Thailand.
Thai.
Yeah.
This is Muay Thai. So I flew out there and I fought in the tournament and I won the gold medal. So I like knocked out 2 or 3 dudes.
All right. What countries are they from?
So I fought a dude from Cote d'Ivoire, which is in Africa.
All right.
I fought another guy from Finland.
Finland.
Yep. Then I fought someone.
You can get like a Rocky Russia type.
No, I didn't get him yet.
You didn't get that guy.
Nah, I fought someone from Turkey in the final.
Okay.
Yeah, who's the third guy I fought?
That's my problem. I knock out so many
Ivory.
people I forget their names. It happens to me all the time.
Oh, some guy from France.
Some France.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good. They had it coming. Fuck
Yeah.
France. I'm just kidding. We have listeners from France. I love you guys.
I love France.
Right?
I went to Paris. It's dope.
Yeah, man. So you got that. You got a gold medal. This is year 2 now. Yeah, are we in year 2 yet?
That was,
or are you still kicking ass in year 1 still?
This is 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, have you made this transition now? When do you start getting paid? When does this happen?
So I still was amateur. So I won that tournament,
Right.
and then I for kickboxing and Muay Thai, it's really hard to go pro just because the scene isn't really that big, and you have to have a fan base. And
Okay.
a following to be able to get fights.
Give me the listeners this. Give me an idea. You don't have to be specific with your income, but what the economics of being a professional Muay Thai fighter, kickboxer. What,
Yeah.
you're not pulling down $100,000 a year,
No,
million
not
a
even
year,
close.
nothing like that.
Not even close.
Can you live off of it?
Yeah, I mean, if you make the right sacrifices, you can make it work.
Okay.
I mean, you have to put in. I would say like the average Muay Thai kickboxer maybe is making $500 to $1,000 per fight.
Per fight. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can ticket sales. That's also if you're a good ticket seller, you can get another like 1,500, 2,000, maybe
Right.
3,000. I mean, it's endless with the ticket sales. So
Right.
whatever you can bring in.
How good is your hustle?
Plus,
How many people you know? Yeah.
Right, that's a plus. You need sponsorships, which is maybe like between maybe $200 to $500 a month, maybe if you're lucky.
Okay.
So I mean, it's different. It's definitely difficult. So most fighters, at least kickboxers and Muay Thai fighters, have day jobs
Right.
where they're having to work and then train at night, or vice versa.
You can kick. Why aren't you? Wasn't your day job kicking for the Vikings or something? Why aren't you?
I can't kick like that. That's a little different.
Right.
Yeah.
So what were you doing? What was your day job work? Is there anything
I worked.
spectacular?
So it was a good job. I worked at Regents Hospital. I
Oh, okay.
worked security. So I was working.
course you
still. Yeah. So I was still going, making sure I was making the right moves.
What is your hospital knockout record? What is that?
I didn't knock out anyone. I talk. Like, I don't like, if you touch your patients, you got to do paperwork.
Right.
I'm just trying to
I
talk.
was talking about people, maybe somebody coming in or something. And
No, I've got swung on once or twice, but
Right.
then I just.
How
duck
bad?
under.
Are you just ducked them? You didn't?
Yeah, I never punched or hit anyone. I just duck under, grab them up, sweep them to the floor, hold them down, shoot them up.
Oh, I hope those people are listening now and they realize how lucky they were.
Yeah. Some of them, like, they fought. Some people that I dealt with, I talked to them about, like, because, like, I'm talking to them, so I tell them what I do.
Right.
And they follow me, and so now they know.
Now they're your fans.
Yeah.
Because they can't kick your ass, so they got to be your fan.
Right,
now.
right.
That's how that works. Hey, you know that guy, Troy? Yeah, I almost got my ass kicked by
Right.
him. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
So you're making the transition again to pro, first pro fight. When was this?
So my first pro fight, I ended up, it was in Thailand. So I moved so like after I went to these tournaments and I knew I was good, I'm like, all right. And I'm like hating my job because I'm like, I want to pursue fighting and I want to become pro. And I'm like stuck in between, like, what should I do? And my wife was the one who said, just quit your job and we're gonna move to Thailand, sell all of our shit, and move to Thailand.
How did you get her? Because I'm trying to get my girlfriend to tell me to quit my job, so I just do comedy full time and live off of her.
I don't know. She's a good one, man. She's a writer.
Right.
She saw the passion that I had. She saw the success I was having.
Right.
She also saw how unhappy I was working, and she's just like, all right, well, just quit your job, because the people you deal with in those settings, being security, law enforcement, aren't always the best quality of people.
Right.
And you start to get jaded, and you start to bring a lot of it home with you, and you see a lot of fucked up shit, like drug addiction, like domestic abuse, and mental health issues. I mean, that's just some of the stuff that I dealt with. I didn't deal with any of the medical stuff, obviously, but I just dealt with the behavioral aspects of it. And it's not always, it was never, it was just you just bring it home with you.
Yeah, you can't just turn it off.
Yeah, you start to change as a person. And my wife saw that, and she was like, just quit. We're gonna sell all of our stuff. We're gonna move to Thailand, and we did.
Wow.
So that's where my first pro fight was, in Thailand.
All right.
And I knocked the dude
That's
out.
that's a commitment there. It's like
yeah.
You moved to another country and not as a developed country, I guess.
Nah.
Not to debase them at all,
right. But she loved it. She's a yoga instructor, so she does personal training, nutrition, all that stuff.
Okay.
And so she enjoyed it. She had like an online business, so she was able to run her.
Oh, and like instructing online and things
Yep.
like that? Oh, okay.
Like she was like an online personal trainer. So she was able to still have her like job and be able to travel with me and experience the world, experience life, and like it's
that's worth it, just there, just seeing other
it.
cultures and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a fun.
It definitely
bonus.
changed us for sure, for the better.
Right.
Just being able to see the way different people live and what they consider a necessity.
Right.
And how they consider like just happiness.
Right. I imagine it, especially going there. It's probably humbling in a lot of ways too. It just it readjusts your focus in life and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to ask when I talk to people who could travel to other areas. So what was like the view? Did you get in much conversations with either your coaches over there or people that you knew over there, and get kind of a feel for what their view is for America and things that? I'm always curious about how we reflect.
Quite a bit. Like if you talking to anyone, they ask you where you're from, they say America, and they're like, "Oh, Donald Trump." And this is like when Donald Trump just got elected, so,
right?
And I was like, "Oh man,"
right? Like, oh god, I got to explain this shit.
I didn't stop hearing about this until I didn't stop hearing that until I left, because every day, this is when he first got elected, so it was just craziness. Man. It was everything. Like even every day I wake up. Over there, I guess still get like my CNN and Fox News notifications, and everything's Trump. And I'm like, man, what is going on at home?
You left at the right time.
Yeah, people, right. You left
at just the right time.
People like, it definitely affects the world how America's doing.
That's the thing. Our politics affects everybody on the planet,
right.
Man.
People pay attention and they know. So it's just like, I ran into that, and like a lot of people, they just think. Like if you're from like over there, if you're from like a developed country, just think you're rich,
right?
And like I mean,
in a lot of ways we are, yeah.
Compared to them, you are rich, because we like the average salary over there is like 20,000 baht, which is like $600 a month.
Wow.
And you ain't gonna be able to get nowhere with that in America.
No.
And like it's really like cheap living. Like our apartment was like $200 a month.
Okay.
So we lived there for like 7 months, and I fought probably 7 or 8 times out there.
Are you just over there fighting, or are you working with like coaches or
Yeah, I'm fighting. I'm training
from there.
Yeah. So I trained at a couple of different places. So the first place I went to was it's a small gym. I was literally the only person in there.
Okay.
And I'm getting like a 2-on-1 from like 2 like older trainers, and like
Are they? Did they outskill you?
Oh no, they're just older. They're old. Like here's like they're way smaller than me.
Okay.
And obviously, yeah, they do outskill me because they just know more.
Right.
But just when I'm there, they're holding pads for me. It's just I learned. I'm learning, and even if they can't speak English that well, I still learn because the Muay Thai language is universal.
Right.
So all I do is just watch what they're doing, watch what they're saying, and try to emulate it in the pad, and then you can get like your critiques just by watching and hearing what they're saying to you and like how they're reacting because they're
Right.
really emotional. And like when you're doing something well, they'll let you know.
Right.
As
And
far as like,
if
"Oi."
you're doing it bad, they're gonna make
You're
some.
like, yeah, oh no, do it this way, or try to explain it to you.
Is it a more of an authentic training? Is there any more that's a little bit more culturally influenced training over there? Is it just here? I'm assuming it's a little bit more systematic and like you got to learn
Yeah,
this
oh
and this
yeah,
and this and this.
yeah, definitely.
While
More
still paying
authentic.
respect to some of the traditions of
Yeah,
Muay Thai.
it's
But
definitely more authentic over there. Just they
was it
they
harder
train
than that
different.
for that?
Is,
Or
it's different. It's
Okay.
hot. It's real hot.
right? There's
So
no air conditioned gym to work
no,
out in.
you're working outside under like a canopy or something. Some inside gyms, but most of them are open air.
Right.
So it's really hot. So that was the big, and it's really humid. So those two like really big barriers that you have to overcome. The language barrier is another one.
It's gotta be good for your cardio though when you get back over here.
Yeah, it's different. The language barrier, then you just like you have to prove yourself because you'll run into a lot of trainers that are used to dealing with foreign people coming over just want to hit pads.
Right,
So
right.
you'll run into that. So you have to prove yourself to be like, oh no, I'm really serious about this, and then they're like, oh okay, then they'll start holding differently for you.
So they didn't know who you were. They're like,
No,
oh,
absolutely
this
not.
phenom's coming over here.
No.
Okay.
I have to prove myself. So that was the first gym I went to. It was called Bang Tong Muay Thai, and that's where I had my first fight. And we were there for a month, and then I traveled I was in Phuket, so I traveled to Rawai, which is south on the island. And I was there for 2 months. I trained at Kalpatek Muay Thai, and this was more of like a fighter gym, a foreign fighter gym. So they had a bunch more foreigners, like people from Sweden, England.
Are all these people coming
Australia.
over? Are they all with aspiring to fight professionally?
Yeah, these guys. Yeah, all
Okay.
these are all professional fighters.
It's not just some dipshit who's coming on
No,
vacation. Hey, I'm going to go try this
no,
kickboxing
no,
shit.
there's fighters.
Right.
I mean, there's different levels to fighting over there too. It's just like we're at in Phuket, the lower level Muay Thai fights are happening in Phuket, where you're still trying to just get some rounds, get some numbers, and just trying to fight as much as you can, and just build up your style. You're gonna run into some tough fights too. But a lot of the times sometimes you're just gonna fight an older type dude who's just trying to make some money.
Right.
Sometimes but he's also good. He's fought in the stadiums before, which is the highest level.
And plus, if you need some money, you fight a little bit harder too.
Right.
So
And at the end, they like when they're retired, like they just come down to Phuket and train and take fights just to make extra money.
wow.
So I mean, then I moved so I was there for a couple months, had like maybe 2 or 3 fights with them. Then I moved up to Bangkok at a really like a legendary gym. It's called Deseret Muay Thai Academy, which is like a lot of Thai champions come out of there. And I was training with Krum Pet, which is a Thai fighter, Thai champion. He fought in the stadiums, won the world titles, and he's an American.
Oh,
Or
wow.
he's in America.
Oh,
he's
in
not
America.
American.
Gotcha.
And he comes to Minnesota Martial Arts Academy and teaches us, and he helps run our fight team too when he's here. He's one of Caitlin's coaches.
Any like, and I guess it would happen in every country in the fights. There's always some element of shadiness in some things.
Yeah,
and I remember some I can't remember the specific video I watched or what it was from, but about Muay Thai fights over there and Americans getting kind of maybe not judged as fairly in some of the fights over there. Or did you? Is that accurate?
It kind of is. You just because we don't know the rules.
Okay.
Fighting over there is different. It's like they're judged differently in Muay Thai because they're judged properly. In America, the Muay Thai fights are based off of like boxing and other types of judging. like
Okay.
combat sports judging. Muay Thai over there is judging the totality of the fight, not by round. And the first 2 rounds is like draw rounds, so it's like giveaway rounds. So like, which allows the betting like to happen, which is really a big part of Muay Thai in Thailand is betting. So the first rounds are just a draw, so you can let the betting happen, see who they want to pick. Third, fourth round are at most the
So it almost kind of
meat.
starts out where you're doing like a little exhibition
Yeah, you
almost.
just boop boop, going slow, seeing what type of reactions they're getting. The third and fourth round are the most important rounds. Those, if you win those 2 rounds, you're probably gonna win the fight. And that fifth round, you're gonna be on the back foot, moving, trying not to get hit, trying not to let them get the knockout. So, and then like people don't understand the rules, and that's why they might not see the fight going the way they want it to.
Okay. All right, that makes it a little clearer for me. Are you? Can you bet on yourself when you're over there?
Yeah. I my wife wouldn't bet on me.
Do you think she was going to jinx you, or she's like,
no, she would.
You ain't got this, kid.
She went and bet on me.
She would. Oh, she would. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you said she would.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't know how. You have to be with someone who knows how to bet, because they're doing all these signs and speaking in Thai.
Right.
So you don't really understand what's going on. There's a lot of hand movements, hand signs. Going
Really?
down. Yeah. It's crazy.
Do you ever have to go collect a bet for somebody that was like, I ain't gonna pay you? Fuck you.
No, nothing
Okay.
like that. It was maybe like a couple by 100 baht, which is like $3-4.
$3-4.
Yeah, so it was nothing serious.
Right.
Because we didn't understand it, so we weren't gonna bet.
It was more just
crazy.
fun for you.
Yeah, it was just experience it.
Right. So what's the next level then? After you're leaving Thailand and you're coming back, is Glory the next stop?
No, so I went into Thailand and I fought probably like 7 or 8 times in Thailand, and then I was basically there training for the World Games, because I had qualified for the World Games. So before moving to Thailand, I won another Pan American tournament, which qualified me to compete in the World Games. So
Where does that rank? If I'm looking at the Super Bowl as the biggest thing in football, what's
the Pan American Games is like the NFC Championship.
Okay.
So, and then like the World Games is like the Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
So I'm at the World Games, and I competed and I won one fight and I lost the fight. So I was supposed to fight for the bronze medal.
How'd you lose? Was it a decision type thing? Or
nah, they stopped it. It was
Okay.
like I got kneed in the nose.
Okay, so you had blood.
So yeah, it was messed up.
Okay.
But
Is that your worst injury fighting?
Yeah, I cut my shin open too.
Okay.
In Thailand and in the World Games, and this was in Poland. And I fought a 12-time world champion, and I had like maybe, I don't know, 20 fights.
Okay.
Something like that, 20, 30 fights. And I'm fighting someone who has 10 times, not 10 times, probably like 2 times more than me, 100 some fights, 12-time world champion.
So was that your first significant kind of loss too? I mean, is that?
Yeah, this is like my second. So my overall record is like 60 something and 4. So I only have 4 losses. One as
you really got to work on that record, man. 64. I don't know, man.
1 as a professional, 3 as an amateur. And,
okay.
And
so
those
what that first significant one feel like? I mean, that's
it was
you
tough.
feeling unstoppable before, right?
Yeah. So this was like 2016. I was fighting at the World Championships in Sweden, and I fought a Thai fighter. He's a champion in Thailand. Like he has like 100 some fights. I have 16, something like that. And like I fought well. Like it was a good fight. It could have went either way.
Mm-hmm.
I fought well, and I lost. And I was upset because there was a couple of things, like 1 or 2 things. If I would have done them, I would have won.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because I wasn't familiar with the rules and how to win a Muay Thai fight against a person who knows the rules, who grew up fighting the rules.
So it wasn't like a loss where you're like quit, like, oh, I don't know if I can do this now. No, you're just like, oh, no,
I was
I
good.
gotta fix
I'm
this
like,
and this, and I'm gonna kick their ass.
I fought this guy and I did this well against him. I'm ready to go.
Nice.
I can do anything, and that's my mindset. It just made me train harder, so it forced me to become better. Because I was thinking I was hot shit coming in there, thinking like, all right, I'm unstoppable, regardless of how many fights. And I respected his game more than I respected my own. And at that point, that changed my mindset going forward. Was never to give anyone more respect than I give myself.
Right.
And just to work hard to earn that respect that I give myself.
Exactly.
So, and that's when I changed, my whole mindset changed, and I just went on another tear and went qualified for the World Games, which was in Poland.
What is your daily, or when you're doing these fights or preparing, how are you, besides just the the kicking and all that training, what are you doing physically? Are you lifting weights?
Yeah.
How does, give me
I
kind of
do
an idea of what your
like
body
as a
requirements
professional,
are? Yeah,
like
well,
right now.
Yeah, right now would be great. A perfect example there. Or
So what I do now, I train about 3 times a day usually.
three times a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do a Muay Thai kickboxing session in the morning.
Right.
Do a strength and conditioning session midday.
Okay.
Then I go back to do another kickboxing Muay Thai session at night. And then that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday, I do 3 sessions. So I'm doing 3 sessions a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then the other 2 days, Thursday and Saturday, I do twice.
Okay.
There's usually Muay Thai. Like I'm doing Muay Thai or some type of sparring on those other 2 days.
Okay. So intensive.
Yeah. So I'm putting in like 40 hours a week, at
Okay.
least 30 hours, 35, 30. Yeah, and this is when like now this is all I do full time now. But before I was still training twice a week or twice a day.
Twice a day and
working
and
40
everything else.
hours, working 40 hours a week.
Getting no
training
recovery time.
30 hours a week. Yeah, it was hard for 3 years. I did that.
Right.
Yeah, that was tough.
Oh man. What was I going to ask you? Oh, to the listener who's like, I'm novice myself, but people who don't understand what kickboxing, the difference between kickboxing and Muay Thai, and all, can you give us a little education about that, and specifically like if in Muay Thai and kickboxing, what are you using? What things are allowed to use? Kicks, obviously, and whatever things like that.
So in Muay Thai, it's the art of 8 limbs. So you got your 2 fists,
Okay.
your 2 elbows, your 2 knees, and your shins.
Okay.
So you can punch, kick, knee, and elbow. And there's also like standing grappling, where you're being able to neck wrestle, pretty much is what it's called, and knee each other, elbow each other, close range fighting. You can also like a foot sweep.
More like a clinch. Is that what you're saying?
It's a clinch. It's called clinch.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can foot sweep to not like a double A takedown, but you can sweep them on the ground. But it has to be like a foot sweep, and you stand back up, and then you keep fighting. Muay Thai, and that's kickboxing. You can't use your elbows, and there's a limited clinch.
Okay.
So that's the main difference with kickboxing and Muay Thai. Muay Thai, you can use elbows and you can clinch. Kickboxing, you can't elbow, and you can, there's a limited clinch.
Okay.
And then more in detail, there's a different rhythm of fighting with Muay Thai and kickboxing. The Muay Thai is more like, it's a different rhythm. It's not as fast paced. It's more slower.
Would you say more strategy to it?
More strategy, more fighting, or just like power. But there's strategy in kickboxing too. But in Muay Thai, it's just so many different weapons and ranges that you can get put down, where you have to be more cautious and think about it a little bit more. Kickboxing is more fast paced. That's why they don't want any clinch, really. They want you to punch it, kick, knee, bang it out. Fast paced, high volume. So it's a different rhythm. Muay Thai, it's like I don't know, if you listen to a Muay Thai fight, you hear like the band playing.
Right.
And they dictate the rhythm, how the fight goes.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I probably noticed that, but just didn't pay attention that was what was going on.
Yep. So yeah, like towards the end of the round, the music gets faster.
Right.
And then the fighters start fighting.
It's like a movie. Like when the music starts going up, the actions get ready to happen.
Right.
Oh, okay. That makes more
really
sense.
cool.
Huh?
That's why I love Muay Thai, just because there's so many different elements to it.
Right. So where we at now as far as timeline,
So this is right before I turned pro. So
Okay.
Poland, it was the World Games, and I lost the fight. And I came back home, and I'm like, man, I don't like, this is when I'm like there's no other like options to move up. So I don't want to keep paying to fight. I want to start to. I think I'm good enough where I can get paid to fight at this point. So had to make the decision to keep going or to like, all right, just start trying to figure something else out with my life. So and then again, I'm talking to my wife, and she told me just stick to it. A year from now, if you're in the same position you are right now, then we can reevaluate. And I would say I got back from Poland, and I got a call from one of the talent scouts from Glory that while we were in New York, so our first stop was in New York. He called me while we were in New York. So, and then he told me that, all right, I'm the talent scout for Glory Kickboxing. We're trying to build up some American fighters. I think you're...
and tell the people who don't know, like I didn't know, Glory's the top of the...
Yeah, Glory Kickboxing is the premier league for kickboxing around the world. I mean, this
is like getting drafted, like at your NFL. This is your draft moment here.
There's a lot of different other promotions, but not promotions that do shows in America and do shows around the world. Like Glory is doing it in America. A lot of the shows is in America. A lot of the shows is in the Netherlands and across Europe. Okay. And I feel like, especially as an American, like there was no other options to fight with a promotion where you're fighting against the best. Right. They're always like, there's other promotions around in America, but they're only putting on the people that are in those areas selling tickets because they're trying to make money. I mean, it's not everyone wants to make money, so I'm not mad at that. But coming from a person from the Midwest, like I'm trying to get better, expand, and I'm hitting up all these promotions like, oh, well, no, you're not in this area, you don't sell tickets. And then I'll like, all right, but I've done all this stuff. Like, they're like, and then they won't have anyone for me to fight because no one wants to bring in someone that they can lose to.
Exactly.
And I'm not someone they're going to fly in and bring their high ticket seller.
They're not going to fly you in just to kick their guy's ass. That's
right.
what it is.
I've only had 3 losses in my whole career.
Right. They're not fucking with you.
Right. So they're not wanting to do that. And I can't blame them. But in this sport, like we want to fight the best. And y'all aren't trying to fight the best. Y'all just want to seem like you're fighting the best.
Exactly.
And I feel like Glory is that organization that is actually putting the best in the world together, and they're growing the American fighters and not just putting them to the slaughter. I mean, I can't speak for anyone else but myself. Like me coming into Glory, I could hang with the best because I fought the best already.
Right.
I've been on the international stage fighting top fighters. And that's what gives me.
So it wasn't a big transition for you. It was just, more challenging.
I just had to prove myself again.
Right.
Get the respect. And I'm still proving myself, still getting the respect. It's just keep going. And I like fighting like that because I give me a chip on my shoulder, knowing I have to prove something.
Exactly.
I love that.
You talked about, fighting overseas and in other countries. What are in the other European countries? Is kickboxing, Thai, and Muay Thai, is it bigger over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Amsterdam or in the Netherlands, kickboxing is huge.
Okay.
Russia is huge.
Do you have like an active fan base that like knows you and all that kind of tracks? Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I think I have a pretty good fan base.
So you're international doing it. That's nice. It's
I got people coming hitting me up from like Germany, Russia, Netherlands, France, like Brazil.
Well, let's talk about how far between that phone call in New York to your first fight with Glory. What was that?
So I talked to them in August. I got back in August of 2017. This was last year.
2018.
2018.
Okay.
No, 2017. So 2 years ago.
Okay.
So this is August of 2017.
So that puts you at 3 years in now?
That would be going on 4 years. Yeah, 3 years in.
3 years in, and you're in the prime.
Yeah, they hit me up, and
not just 3 years of just professional. 3 years of doing kickboxing.
Yeah, 3 years of Muay Thai.
Muay Thai, and you're in the top.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I put in the work and I met the right people. I put in the work. I was able to
I mean, is it
keep
any of
proving
that? Is that
myself.
when you keep seeing putting in work, and I believe that, but is there any of this natural talent? Like, I mean, were
I
you a
don't
kid
like
like
to.
accidentally kicking your dog and a dog went across the
Nah,
room or
I
anything like
don't
that?
like to. I don't like that natural talent stuff. Cause if I didn't work at it,
Right.
I wouldn't be as good.
Exactly.
Even if I was athletic, that means I'm explosive, I'm fast. But I had to put time into learning how to kick properly, learning how to jab properly, learning the IQ. I put a lot of time into studying fighters.
Right.
I'm a student of the game. Like I'm from a background where you watch film on everything and you get better by watching film. And that's what I brought over. I was watching film at work. I'm walking around, walking through places, and then I get a
Studying
break
kicks
watching
and
film.
hits and things and how they
Yeah,
work.
all the time. Like, right. So I put in the work. I put in the time. I did things the right way. I sacrificed. I went through losses. I won a lot. And I mean, I think I did it the right way.
Right.
Like
Definitely.
anybody from Thailand and they know my story. They'll be like, all right, they give me my respect because I put in it. I put in the work and I made the sacrifices and made the decision to give it my all and just to let it take over. Like God work.
Exactly. So what was your first glory fight then? Your first.
My
who'd you
first glory
and-
fight. So this is in August. I got contacted by them, and I didn't fight on Glory until March of 2018.
Okay.
So there's a couple fights that I was supposed to get that got messed up or they didn't want to fight me. So I'm still running into some issues where the guys that they're bringing me, like from America, they didn't want to fight me.
Really?
So yeah, and then they had to find someone. So in March, I fought a guy named Paul Benaznik. He's like a pretty big person online. He has like probably like, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000 followers on Instagram.
Okay.
So he's a person.
A known fighter.
Yeah, known. He's a known fighter. So I went in and beat him easily.
Nice.
I didn't knock him out. So my pro record is I have 12 wins and 10 knockouts.
Okay.
So I've only not knocked out 2 people in my whole career, my professional career. And he was one of those guys. He was tough. He was 6'5". I'm just like 6'1", so I'm going against a taller dude. So I'm sticking. I'm working it. I win by unanimous decision.
Okay.
And then that was my first glory fight. And I wasn't under contract with them. I just had one fight deal. So I had one fight. I did what I had to do in that fight. And then I would say had another driller fight a couple months later. I knocked out that dude. And then I had a fight on Friday Night Fights, which is in New York.
Is this the one where you've got the knockout?
No,
oh no,
this is I knocked him out and it went viral. That was the first time I went one of my knockouts went viral.
Was that your first kind of really blast of like the fame, the viral fame, and all that?
Yeah. So I knocked him out and with him in like a minute, hit him with an elbow, dropped him, and like overnight it just went up to like online like 50,000 views overnight.
So how'd that change your life? Was it mind blowing waking up to that? Did you?
I mean, it was something like.
Did you have to kind of gather yourself? Like, oh, it's happening now. It's okay.
Like, I mean, I'm such a calm person that none of that stuff really gets to me.
Right.
I mean, at least it's not. I don't think
phone's blowing up. People are subscribing to your Instagram
and
everything.
Big.
I
don't feel like it's on the level of like the UFC.
Right.
So it's not like it's overwhelming. It's not overwhelming at all. I just like, oh, it's just another day for me.
Well, you're on the Filter Free America podcast now, so things are going to really take off for you. You're going to get like 5 new followers.
Hey, let's get it. Hey, everyone matters, man.
So tell me about we watched a video before we started recording here of this fight. It's for like the fight of the year or the knockout of the year. I'm sorry.
So
when was this? And
so that was. When was this? I knocked this. My first viral knockout was in June,
mm-hmm.
and then I fought again for Glory. Now I'm signed to Glory for a 2-year deal. After that, for that knockout that went viral, then they picked me up, and then I went over into Chicago, which is in September of 2018, and it was supposed to be a 4-man tournament, and this is a qualifier tournament. So what Glory does, they have like different tournaments. So they have like a qualifier tournament and a contender tournament. So the contender tournament is what you have to win to get a title shot.
Right.
The qualifier tournament is what you win to get into the contender tournament.
Right.
So I won that tournament, and my first fight was against Casey Green, and I knocked him out within a minute, and it was like #1 on Sports Center, and
that was
viral.
That was a kick, right?
Kick to the head, and then
they cut him like right on the jaw.
It was flush.
Right.
It was a perfect hit.
Yeah.
And after that, I was supposed to fight again, but the guy who won his fight on the other side of the bracket, I guess he went through a 3-round war and couldn't continue. And then they asked the guy who lost, he said no. Then they had a reserve fight against the two people. One of the guys I beat him my first Glory fight, Paul, and there was another guy, I forget his name, and they both said no. So I won the tournament off of 1 minute.
They're not saying no because they got something better to do. They just don't want to fight you.
I don't know.
Right?
I mean,
they're like, no.
That's the only conclusion I can come up with.
Right.
But I mean, if it was me and I was in that situation where I fought a 3-round fight and another guy won of 1 minute, I'm still gonna fight just because of the opportunity that's given.
Right.
And I signed up for it. Like,
exactly.
I'm a man of my word. I signed up to fight in a 2-man or 4-man tournament.
How does Glory look at that? I mean, it's gotta hurt your chances for other stuff too, right?
It did. I'm sure it did. For sure. I'm sure it definitely hurt those other fighters, but for me, made me look good.
Right. Hell yeah.
So I'm like, cool. I'm cool with it.
Right. So, I want to talk a little bit about the law enforcement stuff. Let's get up to date where you're at now, because you just not too long ago had your biggest fight to date.
Yeah. So I just fought in Houston February 1st. It was Glory 63. I fought the number 8 ranked welterweight fighter in the world, and he was another American. He was coming off 5 wins in a row in Glory. He beat the number 6 guy.
Okay.
So he was on a tear, and then I knew this fight was coming. Like, it was only.
You guys familiar with each other?
Yeah, we've been on Team USA together.
Oh, okay.
So we sparred together, trained together.
Does that makes it a little harder? Does he have some insight more?
Yeah, I mean, just because we're cool,
right.
But it doesn't make it hard because you got to put all the personal stuff aside and get to business. So
it wasn't like you guys had beef though. You guys were just cool.
No beef at all. It's just there's not much beef in Muay Thai and kickboxing. It's just like a different.
Not enough WWF.
Yeah, it's
influence
different.
In there
it's
yet.
different. It's different.
Right.
It's a different mindset and mentality, but it was good. Like, he brought out the best in me, and I'm sure I brought out the best in him in his training. So, and it showcased my skill against someone who's a top ranked fighter, and it's not just because I was knocking out everybody, and it showed that I can go 3 rounds and actually pick apart someone.
How did this one end?
It was a unanimous decision.
Oh, okay. So
I didn't knock him out, so it went all 3 rounds, and yeah, it was just a good fight. I dominated the fight for sure, and it just made me look good, and I was able to showcase my skill, just show what I can do and gain my respect more.
Right. So now that puts you're number 1 United
Amerika,
States male welterweight.
Yep.
Correct. And then welterweight, you're number 9 worldwide.
Yep.
Okay. So what's the next fight? What happens from here?
So now I'm expecting a child. My baby girl's about to be born in a couple of weeks. So I'm taking a break just to welcome her into the world.
Right.
But after that, I mean, I feel like there's a couple of directions it could go. They could want me to fight another American who would just to help me just develop my skill a little bit more in kickboxing.
Who's the number 1? Who's the
champion?
Yeah.
Harut Gregorian from Turkey.
Okay.
And then there's the top 4 dudes from like France, the Netherlands, and Morocco.
Okay.
And there's a few other
So what do you think when you look at these guys you just named off?
I can beat
Can you
them.
get it with them?
Oh, absolutely. I've been
Nice.
preparing for them since the day I started. I've been watching those guys, all of them, for a long time, so I know how they fight.
Are
I'm
you
ready.
cool with it? Do you communicate with them at all?
Nah, I'm not that type.
Right.
I go to fight. I go into war.
Right. I'll
I'm
talk
not-
to you after I knock you.
Yeah, we're
I'll
not
help you out.
friends when we go in here. And like I'm not training partners with you. Like, I have a different mentality. I'm not trying to be friends with anybody.
Nice.
I'm trying to become a world champion. I'm trying to be like I'm there. I'm a prospect, top prospect right now. I'm trying to become a contender.
Right.
So I'm coming.
So nothing booked for fights yet.
Nah,
You're just gonna take care of your daughter,
yeah,
get your daughter in the
I was
world, and
wanna-
then go from there.
Cause I don't want to commit to something and not be able to give 100%. And I know what I need to do to be ready for a fight, and I don't know what my schedule is gonna change to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, cause I'm having a daughter and my wife works, but she's
Plus, you want to enjoy it. I'm sure
Right.
you got to train. You're
Yeah.
training 3 times a day now, but you're
Right.
not.
I want to be able to
Yeah.
to welcome her into the world. So I'm thinking like I won't fight probably till like June.
Okay. That's not too far away.
No, it's enough. I still am gonna train.
Right.
It's just the amount of training that I have to commit to is a lot different than just going and staying in shape.
Gotcha.
So I'm in shape, but I'm not like I need to be like you got to become in fight shape.
And fight shape, it's a different
Mhm.
level.
Yeah.
So aside from glory and trying to get to that number 1 spot, is there any other areas of martial arts that you're interested in, combat fighting at all, or is this what you're going to stay at, or is this?
You never know. I mean, I've always pictured myself staying within the striking game, but I don't know. I find myself wanting to do MMA more and more.
Because I was
I
going
just
to
wanna
ask,
test
how hard of a
myself.
transition? Because I mean, a lot of the Muay Thai and the strikes and everything are similar with the rules there.
Yeah,
Little
it's
more
just-
little more
you gotta
stuff you
the
can do.
ground game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do.
Are you doing jiu-jitsu now?
I do jiu-jitsu and I do some wrestling when I'm not in camp. So it's like,
Are you kicking their ass yet?
nah, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. It's just like wrestling is a little bit different because it's more about it being explosive and like you can learn the moves, but it's more about just trying to be fast and get it. So I get the wrestling down pretty quickly. It's more like the jiu-jitsu that I need to work.
Okay.
It's just I don't know anything. I'm so green on the ground. It's crazy.
Right. Well, if they start kicking though, you're on.
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You got
yeah.
it.
We can stand and bang all day, but on the ground, I won't say I'm gonna do it anytime soon.
Right.
but it would be a situation where I've prepared.
Well, yeah. Knowing you, it's going to take a whole year
Right.
for you to master that.
Right.
So
2 years.
maybe 2 years.
So
Well, awesome. So we know about the fight now, and that's cool. That's amazing that you could do that in that short a time. I can't do anything in 5 years. Not at
hey
all.
man, you can. It's just about believing.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll take that with me.
You can.
So now let's talk a little bit. And I asked you before if it was cool. We talked about that. About you still want to, after your fighting career is over.
Yeah.
You want to get back into law enforcement.
Yeah.
What do you just want to be, like a street cop? What are you going to do with that?
I always wanted to be like a detective.
Okay.
I don't think or in SWAT team too. I don't do anything to be average.
Right. You want to
If
be
I'm
excel.
gonna do it, I want to be in the most elite group I can reach to. So if that's I want to do. I mean, you have to become a beat cop, at least for 3 years most places. So,
Right.
and then after that, I do want to be in like a homicide detective or some type of SWAT.
Right.
I want to be in some type of special task force.
Did you hear about the dude they just caught, the guy locally here who's like, he killed some chick like 23 years ago, and then they found, like, the detectives like
Oh,
were
wow.
following him, and then they got his cup out of the
They finally got his DNA.
yeah, in 23, I think it was 23 years
Wow.
after the fact, saw the murder. That's like some dude here.
Yeah, murder doesn't have a statute of limitations. So,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Because like I always wanted to be like, just from my background
Right.
and where like my life come from, I wanted to be a person like my family, my cousins can look to, like I can go a different way.
Right.
And like I've proven that I've done that, and
Exceptionally so, yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to continue to give at least the people that look to me for any type of inspiration. Like you can do anything you want, and you don't have to go a specific route to get in it. Like if I was to be practical, I would have went into a regular job right after college and not pursued my athletic career just because it was the most safe thing to do.
Right.
So now I just there's no particular path you need to take. I just want to. That's just something I always wanted growing up as a kid.
Understood. And just so the listeners know, I'm not springing this on you because anybody listens to my show or follows me on Facebook knows I'm pretty critical of law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't have to explain this to you. You're a black man in America. You see what happens and things going on.
Yeah.
How does this make you feel knowing you want to go into this? Are you going in with like the idea of like, I want to set an example? Are you worried in any kind of way? Just what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more worried just because of the way the justice system is set up and how it's been really like directed towards a certain group of people, just minorities in general.
Right.
But I feel that's because there aren't any minorities on the force. So you're expecting officers to understand a place they've never been or lived. How can you expect someone to understand something they've never been in? So I feel like that's an issue. I feel like if there was more people patrolling the areas of the ethnicity that they can actually understand what's going on.
Well, that's one thing.
The judgment.
Yeah, that's one of the things I kind of rail on because you look at which is take Minneapolis for instance, and the amount of police officers who patrol like North Minneapolis, a high crime area, but don't live anywhere close to it.
They
right.
live in Eden Prairie or something.
Yeah. So is how can you understand what's going on? You don't have your boots on the ground type feel because you're clocking in, doing your job, leaving. And then also it creates that level of separation between, because I always tell people, it's like, I don't believe in no cops. I believe in the idea of an honorable and ethical law enforcement. I do believe in that.
Right.
And I would like to see that,
Right.
and I know that not every cop is bad.
Right.
But there's a huge disconnect there because if you, like you said, if you're not familiar with the environment, if you're familiar with the people, you're going to react differently. Right. So, I'm for one, I would go to extreme. Like I'd be like pro even tax funding or tax subsidizing housing for law enforcement to live in those areas.
They do that in places.
Do they?
I'm not sure in Minnesota, but they definitely do that in some cities, some states.
Right.
You get like more of a tax break, or you get paid more if you live in the area. They definitely do that.
Yeah.
But how widespread it is, I'm not sure.
Do you do a lot of training, personal training and such?
Mm-hmm.
I have to imagine there's some law enforcement officers that are coming to you for training too. Are you doing any of that?
Sometimes I get a couple, but usually it's just more people that I know.
Okay.
Like I just had an interview. I went and spoke with the chief of St. Paul Police, and they were super interested in just what I could bring and just being like. So I've talked to they all enjoy it, but it's a demanding job.
Right.
A lot of them they aren't as healthy.
Yeah.
So
it's like one or the other. Isn't it? Like the cops are in great shape, or there's like fucking I'm fat as fuck right now. So
I would love to work with people in law enforcement because I feel like if you have the confidence to know that you can handle yourself with your hands. You're not quick to go to your weapons as much. I feel like just me in general, like when I know I'm in a situation where I can handle myself, I'm a little bit more calm, and maybe that could help in law enforcement too.
I would hope so.
And I think there's another problem. It's you're uneducated. I wouldn't say uneducated because most cops are smart individuals, but the requirements to becoming a cop in a lot of places aren't really that high. You can become a cop from being in high school.
Right.
I feel like Minnesota is a place where the education level is high to becoming a police officer. So I mean, there is some situations where things are shady, but it doesn't happen as much here,
right,
compared to around the country.
True. You gonna be a cop here?
I don't know. I don't want to be cold too much longer. So we'll see.
Some warmer climate to chase me on.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to go where, like, where you're familiar with. I think I would be the most beneficial to work here, just because I'm from here,
Right.
and I know the environment.
You're familiar.
Yeah. So I think that's what it would come down. My decision to where I would want to go boil down to.
Okay. Cool. I hope that works out for you, and I hope you bring, a needed, not only being a good cop, but a needed new point of view.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like.
I hope that translates to other officers that you end up working with.
Yeah, right. Because you can't change a culture by yourself.
Right.
You can only just show up and do what you do for yourself, and hopefully, I mean, for me at least, you hope someone sees it and it rubs off on them. Because I'm not the type of person who's gonna tell you exactly what I'm doing or how I'm feeling.
Right.
I'll just peep what you're doing and like, oh, all right, well, you're shady. I ain't gonna mess with you.
Right.
And unless you do something super shady in front of me, then you're gonna hear how I feel. But other than that, like, I keep to myself. I just watch and
observe.
Observe, yeah.
That's a good way to go.
Right.
Anthony, did we leave anything else out with kickboxing and Muay Thai, or?
No, I think we covered it all. I'm coming.
You're gonna have your kid.
Ladder.
You're gonna give him a chance to train now. While you're having your kid.
Yeah.
As soon as you have your kid and everything's legit,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna go back and get that number one spot.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Awesome. Thank you for taking time talking to me.
Man.
I really enjoyed the conversation.
I appreciate you.
Right on. Well. There it is. Another episode of Filter Free America podcast is in the books, the digital recording books, however the fuck that works, whatever. Just so you know, in between me recording the intro and the outro, I'm changing the name to just simply I Can Kick Your Head Off with Troy Trouble Jones. So yeah, disregard whatever I rambled in the first part of the episode. Like that it matters. Like I'm focused on these little things because I'm neurotic in that way, where this is like the title of an episode. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. They're just going to say, oh, it's Troy Trouble Jones is the guest. I'm going to listen to it. I don't give a fuck about the title. That's how my brain works. Whatever. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. And thank you to Troy fucking Trouble Jones for, number one, sitting down and having a conversation with just me, with Joey Vincent, a nobody. And number two, thank you for not kicking my head off. He kicked a man's head off in the 9th or 11th row. I seen it on a video. Whatever. But thank you, Troy. Thank you for doing that. I hope that you keep kicking ass, everybody's ass but mine. And I hope you take over the planet. And hope that I'm working for you someday in some capacity that does not require me getting my head kicked off. Whatever. What else? Oh, thank you to sponsors, simplewebsite.us. Simplewebsite.us. One more time. Simplewebsite.us. Thank you guys. You're doing the website magic stuff for me. That's very helpful, and I appreciate it. And you guys support me by supporting them. Go to their website, look around, do something with it, whatever. Anything else? I don't know. Make sure you're reviewing the podcast and all that good stuff. Hold on, I got a burp. Okay, that was a real burp. I'm not editing that out. I can't do it. I don't have time. What else? Oh, been a lot of activity on my personal Facebook page. Political related shit, right? Today specifically as I'm recording this, because I like to poke the bears on both sides, because I think both the right and left political paradigms are just fucking ridiculous, and it's nothing but goddamn tribalism bullshit, right? But it's amazing the amount of effort, regardless of the seriousness of the posts that I make, right? That the left and right, many people from the left and right, the amount of goddamn energy that they invest in bickering back and forth against two fucking goddamn groups of criminals that don't really give a fuck about you, that are fucking milking this country goddamn dry, that look at you as fucking expendable goddamn cattle. It's amazing the energy you guys put back and forth defending those two fucking camps. It's goddamn fucking amazing. If you use a fraction of the fucking energy I saw spent today on fucking politically related bullshit fucking shit posts I made, right? Do you know how quickly and how wonderfully we could change this goddamn planet, right? If we weren't just fucking running, trying to fucking one up each other over fucking bullshit Facebook comments and posts about goddamn criminals, this fucking, dude, we'd have flying cars. We would have flying fucking cars. Every goddamn where we'd be flying anywhere we fucking want in our flying fucking cars. If we would just invest that energy in just making humanity better for everybody. That's not socialist. That's not a socialist idea. That's a fucking pro-humanity idea. Period. Stop. Full end of sentence. Okay? That's what it is, right? We're goddamn human beings. We're equal fucking beings, equal to happiness, or equal to being deserving of happiness and of health, right? And of safety, right? And of freedom and respect. Right? That should be the goddamn baseline before you want to jump in your fucking subdivided fucking groups of fucking left, right, gay, straight, religious, non-religious, fat, skinny, whatever fucking group you want to fucking cling to, right? Before you're any of those motherfucking things, you're a human goddamn being. You're a human goddamn being, right? Fuck the right, fuck the left, pro-human, vote for humanity. Do that shit for a fucking change. Quit fucking fighting over Facebook, over fucking dumb fucking red hats and fucking goofy motherfucking politicians with fucking shoveling bullshit in your face, okay? Fuck all that. You're a human goddamn being. That should be your first and last thought on this fucking planet every single day is like, let's make shit better for fucking humans, right? That's it. All right. Don't forget to spade and neuter your pets and children. Spade and neuter your pets and children. It's very important. Also, make sure you keep seeking the truth. Also, if you pray or worship the devil, please do both of those things for me till I get my voice back, because I got to record an episode tonight. It's going to be a dope episode, but you got to listen to me like this. But whatever. I need my voice back. It's my golden voice. I need it. I love you guys. Take care of each other, okay? Take care of your enemy. Let's do that. Let's take care of our enemies, right? When we see somebody we don't agree with, right? Just don't say nothing fucked up to them. And pat them on the back. Fucking offer to buy them a drink. Offer to sit down and have a conversation with them about anything other than things you can disagree with. If you like baseball, you both like baseball, talk about fucking baseball. Whatever. Then reach on the table and jerk each other off or rub each other out, respectfully, whichever one applies to you at the time. I love you guys. I really do. I guess I'll talk to you in the next episode. Fucking bye. Bye.